Welcome to another episode of SEO B.S. But anyway, in this episode, we're going to talk about how does an employee mentality destroy your business? How does an employee mentality destroy your business? Okay, that's what we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to do some training, and I'm going to do a unique spin on it, of talking about an employee mentality versus an entrepreneur mentality. And one of the reasons why I talk about this a lot is because, I go back and forth, being an entrepreneur, owning a business myself, and, going back and forth being an employee, or going back and forth and being hired to do a company's SEO, which they put me on W-2 wage and they treat me like an employee. And for me, kind of going back and forth, I can kind of really see, the big difference between working for a company and working for employees. Okay, no matter if they're your boss, or they're a supervisor, they're a manager, they're a director, a VP, a COO, they all suffer from an employee mentality because they all collect a paycheck. Bottom line, they all want their job to be easy. Bottom line, you know what I mean? So for this, I really see it hand in hand every day. I really struggle with this myself. Sometimes I lose jobs over this because it's just a conflict of mentality. Sometimes people don't see eye to eye with me when I do come over here as an employee. So we're going to talk about these differences, and we're going to talk about how can an employee really negatively affect your company and your business, especially if you have a small company. I mean, when employee mentality creeps in and it's too strong, it's going to shut your doors, or you're going to lose some money, let me tell you. But other than that, let's get rocking and rolling, and let's kind of go through this together. Even though you're not here, you're kind of here virtually. But anyway, these are my notes down here, even though it's ugly. Okay, I just want to make sure I cover everything, cover every the top points I really want to. This is a very important subject, so most of the time I don't need it, but in this subject I kind of need it. So let's get rocking and rolling. Now, one of the things when I look at myself, I only can talk about myself at this point, is when I'm an entrepreneur, when I'm business Chad, entrepreneur Chad, one of the things I've learned over the years, from CEOs, from people that I've worked for that own the company, that are multimillionaires, one of the things that they've taught me is, Chad, you have to pre-plan your day. Okay, either the night before or when you come in for work. You got to pre-plan your day. You got to know what you're doing for that day. Okay, so now we're talking about two different things. Either I do it the night before, either I do it before I leave work. I make a list of what I'm going to do the next day. Makes sense, right? So even if you go into work, get this, even if you go into work, how many jobs you go into work and you're going to take, your first 30 minutes and pre-plan your day? What's your boss going to tell you over here if you're an employee? They're pretty much going to tell you, what are you doing? Do that at home on your own time, because they're an employee themselves. Over here, you're kind of being personally developed. You have mentors and coaches, and your mentors and coaches hopefully are very, very successful. So, they've done this and it works. Over here, what happens is the employee mentality is that they pretty much go with the flow. There's no plan. Okay. They just show up for work. They go with the flow. There's no plan. They waste time. They're trying to figure out what needs to be done, so forth and so forth. So over here, when you look at efficiency, okay, it's this, your efficiency is low. You're not efficient at all. So one of the things we can say over here on employee mentality is like the whole mindset of being efficient, getting stuff done, is very, very low. Because over here, when it's your business, you're an entrepreneur, you own the business, so forth and so forth, that you want to pre-plan. Oh, why? Well, you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to be inefficient. You want to keep on self-improving because you want your time to be most efficient. You don't want to waste time. For example, over here, I want to pre-plan. So if I pre-plan, when we talk about pre-planning, I only want to focus on maybe 3 to 5 things per day. Okay. Now, when I focus here, I'm focusing here. Let me put this down. Here, I'm focusing. I'm laser focused, and I'll give you examples. But over here, as an employee, what does an employee do? Well, most of the time they're unfocused. But let me give you another word that floats around. Another word that floats around is multitasking. Okay, you ever hear that at your job, or you go through an interview? Well, can you multitask? Chad, can you multitask? Give me examples of multitasking. Can you do many things at one time? You know what I mean? So you're scattered throughout. Now think about multitasking. It's like you have a big pie here, and you're doing many things in one day. You could be doing 15 things in one day. That's multitasking. Now, when you logically think about it, multitasking, is it efficient? When you look at efficiency of your time, maybe you're getting a lot of things done. Maybe it's not completed, or you're rushing through it just to get it done. I have stories about that. Or over here as an entrepreneur, I'm focusing. I'm focusing on 3 to 5 things for the day. 5 things would be a max. I might make a list of 3 things I got to get done today. Okay. Then another thing, when I say focus, usually these 3 things, they kind of relate to each other. They're not in different avenues. And I'll give you examples. Meaning, like, if they all relate to each other, okay, let's say I want to shoot videos. Okay, I'm filming a video here. Okay, now the thing is, when you shoot videos, to be efficient and do this properly, okay, with videos is a great example. It's called batch shooting. Okay, so that's kind of what we call it in the industry. It's called batch shooting. What do I mean by batch shooting? It means that I'm not filming every single day. Okay. For example, let's say if I want to film one video every day, or I want to release 1 video a day. Well, I'm not shooting 1 video every single day. Okay. Because when I wake up, I might not be in the mood. Okay. I got to get scripted. I got to start thinking what I want to talk about. I got to, between me thinking and getting scripted and getting in a mode to talk and know what I'm going to talk about, it takes time. Makes sense? Okay, I might prepare and get mentally prepared for 45 minutes before I start shooting. So why in the world would I shoot 1 video a day? Is that efficient if every time that I'm trying to get ready to film, I got to take 45 minutes to warm up, know what I'm going to talk about, kind of go through it in my mind. You know what I mean? That's why multitasking don't work, because once I start doing many things, I do one thing, then when I jump to something else, well, I got to adjust. And then that's a waste of time. When you start going to multiple things, you have to adjust emotionally. You have to adjust thinking wise, because it takes you time to kind of warm up to it. It takes you time to get into the groove, and that's where you waste a lot of time. Okay. That's why multitasking really, how it came to be about, even though it's an employee mentality, it's really a middle class mentality. Okay, it's not a wealthy mentality. When you talk to very successful companies, very successful people, multi-millionaires, They focus. They don't multitask. They focus their time, okay? And then they're only doing anywhere from 3 to 5 things a day. Those 3 to 5 things are focused and they relate to each other, just like the example I gave you of batch shooting videos. If I'm going to shoot videos, well, if I'm going to focus, well, I might shoot, like I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I believe I did batch shooting yesterday and I shot 6 videos. So that's pretty much what I did all day. Okay, I shot 6 videos. Then what related to shooting 6 videos, I uploaded them to a computer. Then I did some editing on the videos and so forth and so forth. So what I was doing is all related to one another. But I focused in because that's what I was in a mode to do. Once I get in a mode to do videos and I start talking, getting scripted, well, it's easier for me to do video number 2, video number 3, video number 4, because I don't have to spend time to warm up because I'm already warm. I'm already warmed up to do it. So you gotta, so you have to focus your time. Another thing I want to bring up is that's kind of really popular today, even when I go through interviews as an employee, okay, is companies love to say they have an open door policy. You ever been through an interview and the person interviewing you, the manager, the director, VP, COO, and they say, well, Chad, we have an open door policy here. And sometimes if I feel like playing with them a little bit in an interview, I'll even challenge this, is because I'll even say that it makes really no sense. I mean, if you have an open door policy, what that means is you're doing this interview and somebody can walk in here and disturb you and you get up and you attend to them even though you're interviewing me. Some of these open door policies in these companies are just horrible. Especially in small business. You see it in small business where, Chad, we have an open door policy. Because when I start talking about multitasking, when I start talking about focusing your time and, being focused and planning your day, and if you have an open door policy over here, another thing I'm saying over here is you have to limit, to be very successful, to get a lot of stuff done and focus, well, you have to limit your interruptions. Okay, so as an entrepreneur, you have to limit your interruptions. Or if I'm limiting it, what's happening is I'm in control of it. So an example, if I'm in control of my interruptions over here as an entrepreneur, and they expect me to do an open door policy over here, the difference is, well, if I have an employee over here that needs to talk to me, okay, means they can just come in my office and say, Chad, I need to talk to you, and I'm supposed to drop what I'm doing and attend to them right away. Okay, that's the most inefficient thing you can do. Over here, I'm in control. I'm in control of the interruption. So if an employee wants to talk to me, of course I'm going to talk to them. Okay, I might not talk to them when they want to talk to me because I might be right in the middle of something, but I'm gonna look at my schedule and say, hey, or my secretary's gonna look at my schedule and say, well, Chad's available at 1 p.m. Come back at 1 p.m. and he'll talk to you. Or I might do the same thing. Well, I'm available at 1 p.m. That way I'm focused and I can attend to you. My mind's not scattered on something else. I'll talk to you then. That's being in control of your interruptions. Okay, you're in control versus this whole thing of having an open door policy. Open door policies don't work. Once your business gets too big, it doesn't work. It causes chaos and it causes inefficiency and chaos. And most of the time, what goes along with an open door policy is they love to kind of put you on salary. When we talk about salary positions, it's just corny. All salary positions with a lot of companies it just breeds inefficiency. You're not efficient at all, because this is what happens. It's like a vicious cycle when they put you on salary. They want you to multitask. They want you to have an open door policy so people can interrupt you throughout the day so you're not focused. So you're not really getting anything done. All this did is waste your time at work that wasted your 8 hours, but now all of a sudden you still need to get your work done. You wasted your time for 8 hours because all this is disrupting. Now you have to work overtime, which they don't have to pay you for. You see what I'm saying? It's all inefficient. Open door policies don't work, especially in small business. Okay, it seems political to talk about. It seems nice to talk about it. It seems good to talk about, have it on paper, but realistically it don't work. You have to take control. Over here, you have to control it. And this is what in interviews they don't like to hear is, well, I'm going to control my interruptions. And I'll give you an example. I have a recent example I had. I recently was hired with a company that hired me as an SEO consultant, and I was trying to negotiate with them. I would work from home, but they didn't want me to work from home. They wanted me to come to their business and work inside their business. But they said, I could help with other things and blah blah blah, which was illegal anyway when they paying you as a consultant. But other than that. But this is the whole thing they were on. I was their SEO consultant. Get this, I was their SEO consultant. Okay, at least about 60 to 70% of my time was working in the shipping department, because their shipping department was, the manager was a woman. They had another woman working in shipping department. So the shipping department is a very physical department. They had one guy working in shipping department that couldn't handle everything by himself. So they would come over to the marketing department, which I was part of marketing because I did SEO, and they would pull the whole marketing department to go over in shipping and help. And this went on like every single day, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. And every time they came into the marketing department, we were basically just told we had to drop and go help. And this happened. So, it's kind of like a multitasking nightmare, okay, open door policy nightmare. Then most of my time was actually working in a shipping department. Then when I would come back to the office and try to sit down and get refocused on doing SEO, by the time I would get refocused and it'd take me 20 minutes to get into it again, then I would be pulled again. So was it efficient? I mean, this was a small business doing this. To them, they're just trying to stay afloat. To them, it made sense. But when you stand back and look at it, it doesn't make sense whatsoever, because that means them hiring me as an SEO consultant, helping the marketing department, and they're just tearing apart the marketing department because they have us all over the place. And we're not even doing marketing or digital marketing or SEO or anything, but they have us too scattered. They have us doing too many things. And we're doing too many things, outside the department. Not saying, granted, they'll come back and say, well, Chad, you're not a team player. Well, it's not working. It needs to have a different plan. Makes sense? Because eventually what happened, even though all this is going on, eventually they come back and they want to hold me accountable to doing SEO. Now all of a sudden they want me to hold me accountable. Well, how much did you get done? Well, of course I didn't get done that much, because I'm up here doing this most of my time. So eventually it's going to switch around and spank you right in the ass, because they want to try to hold you accountable. That's why this stuff don't work. Or you're going to have to do extreme hours, which I won't do. Like, if they're going to waste my time over here, well, I'm going to do my 8 hours and go. I'm not going to do 12, 13, 14, 15 hours when they're wasting my time. Like, when they're purposely wasting my time, they're just doing this bullshit over here. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. It's bullshit. Versus over here, you want to control your interruptions. If somebody comes in and says, hey, Chad, I need your help, and I'm right in the middle of writing a blog, well, I'm in a focused mode of writing a blog, I'm in a mood to write it, it's like, hey, I'm sorry, I gotta get this done. You know what I mean? When people want you right now, you have to be able to control that in order to get stuff done. If not, you're not in control. It's going to be chaotic over here. And this kind of leads to number 4. The employee mentality, they love to waste time. Why do they love to waste time? Because I kind of said it before, collecting a paycheck. We've all heard of collecting a paycheck mentality. They love to waste time. Makes sense? Because up here, they don't really care because it's not their business. Employees don't care because it's not their business. They don't care if you have them running around doing many things. As long as they can go home at 8 hours, as long as they're still getting paid for it, they don't care. They don't care if it's efficient or not because, again, why? Because it's not their business. Make sense? Now, I've been in every type of meeting. I've been in management meetings, department head meetings, department head meetings, where it's just department heads. I've been in corporate meetings, and I can tell you right now, in every single meeting, it's the employee mentality. When you're looking at meeting structure, okay? And I come from, I was kind of mentored early on that when you go to meetings, you say what you got to say, okay? No matter if it's a pro, a con, ugly, nice, mean, or whatever, because, if I'm honest with you, okay, if I'm just plain honest with you, that helps your company more. It helps the department more than just sitting in a meeting and agreeing with you and walking away and, oh my God, I didn't agree with this. What do you think? We all experience that going to meetings. And I can tell you it happens in every meeting, every level meeting, corporate meetings, board meetings that I'm involved with. Happens the same way. People don't want to go to meetings and be honest. If people aren't going to be honest with you, it hurts your company, it cripples your company. Bottom line. You have people just agreeing with you because they don't care or they think they're going to lose their job. It hurts your company, hurts your business. Bottom line. So over here, the employee loves to waste time. It's not their business. As long as they're collecting a paycheck, they show up to work sick. They take 10 bathroom breaks sitting in a bathroom, or they're talking on the phone, they're planning their vacations at work. Well, they don't care because they're just collecting a paycheck. It's not their company. Now over here, since you're a business owner, this is your business. Most of the time, you don't make money. You don't have to collect the paycheck mentality, but most of the time, your work equals money. Well, if you don't work, you don't make money. Just like if you have the good example over here, get this out of the way. I think I'm kind of done with that. But just like over here is if you have like a commission job, 100% commission job. Well, you need to work to make money. You need to be here to make money, okay? Even if you have a commission job, okay, you need to be efficient to what? Make money. You don't want people to waste your time, okay? You want to control your time. You don't want people to waste your time. Why? Because it costs you money. It costs your business money. That's why entrepreneurs, they do a lot over here, okay? You do a lot of personal development. And we'll talk about that in a second. You do a lot of personal development to do time management just because it all affects your bottom line. It affects your business. It affects the money you're making. Bottom line. Over here, when you're looking at the employee mentality, well, they could really give a rat's ass about your business. As long as you're paying them and they're collecting that paycheck, well, that's about it. Now, another huge thing that kind of goes with this is when I go into a job and everybody's an employee most of the time, or employee mentality most of the time, one of the things that I'll go in and I start trying to help them, I start kind of see what they're doing. And one of the things, I'll give you an example. On Fridays, I love to kind of treat Fridays as a personal development day, as a learning day, not so much a catch up day. A lot of companies are, oh, it's a catch up day, but you're still just working. Most employees, the issue with most employees is they think they're experts. Even if you talk to an intern that has no experience, they think they're an expert. They think they're an expert marketer, but they've built nothing. They've never built a company, but they're a marketing expert. You know what I mean? The employee mentality, they all think they're experts. They have a college degree. They think that degree makes them an expert. It don't, okay? Now, what's the bottom line of being an expert? Is if you think you're an expert, if you think you know everything, well, do you continually learn? Are you doing any type of personal development? No. Okay. And you see that when you go back into the employee setting when you take a job. Nobody in managers, supervisors, directors, VPs, they're not, and I've seen even COOs and CEOs, they're not involved with personal development at all. Okay. How can you make your business better if you yourself are not becoming better? You yourself are not personally developing. You don't have mentors. You're not going to seminars. You're not reading great books to make yourself better. How can your business get better if you yourself are not becoming better? This is the main curse as an employee in companies, in big companies. This is the main curse, is everybody thinks they're an expert, but nobody is doing personal development. Okay, this is where we get this saying, is that with an employee only knows about 10%. Okay, put right here. They only know about 10% above the job description, and that's it. They only know a tiny bit above what they should know without getting fired. This is where we get that. How an employee gets knowledge, they're not going home and reading and like it's a hobby. Okay, all they're doing is learning what they have to learn to keep their job. When they go get a new job, all they learn is what that job teaches them, and that's it. They're not experts. Okay, when you flip over here to entrepreneur, the biggest thing I can tell you as an entrepreneur is, I already brought up, is personal development. Okay, we as entrepreneurs, we are investing in ourselves. Okay, we're buying books. Okay, we're attending seminars. Okay, we have mentors that help us out. We might follow them virtually. We have some that we meet with on a daily basis in person. But this is what we're doing. We're investing in ourselves. We're putting money into our own personal development, because this reflects over here to our business. This is how our business gets better and better, because we're investing in ourselves. We're constantly reading books about, with me, if I would talk about myself, oh my goodness, over the years, I buy books on business, leadership, teamwork. I buy books on sales. I buy books on marketing, SEO, and so forth and so forth. I go to seminars across the board in all those areas. I have mentors that have achieved what I want to achieve, that I talk to weekly or monthly. On top of that, and I keep up with. I have some virtual and some that I meet with. I have some that I follow and I watch their stuff, but this is a huge thing. But when you take this, what I would like to point out, when you take this mentality inside the employee, inside your job, people look at you like you're crazy, or people look at you like you're reading a book, like you don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Or have you ever been in that situation? Going back, when I used to use Fridays, because with most businesses, Monday through Thursday is usually prime time. Friday, as an employee, what happens on Friday? Everybody's in weekend mode. It's Friday. Everybody's focused on a weekend. They're focused on what they're going to do for the weekend. They're focused what they're going to do on Friday night. They're not focused on their job. Especially like when I used to be in sales. Okay, what I learned on Fridays in sales is most of the time on Fridays, your appointments would cancel. Okay, at least a high percentage of your appointments would cancel on Friday, or there would be no-shows. They just wouldn't show up, or you're driving there and they wouldn't be there. Okay, this is what I learned the hard way when I used to work in sales, when I used to meet with people, have clients, and I would do client meetings on Fridays. Like compared from Monday through Thursday, there was when we tracked it, there was a very large percentage, a huge increase on client cancellations, client no-shows, all on Friday. So what I started doing on Fridays is I didn't meet with no clients on Friday. If a client wanted to meet with me on Friday, my schedule was always Monday through Thursday. Friday was off. Wasn't going to meet with them. No way. Now, if somebody else was on my team, somebody else in the business that didn't have as much experience, if they wanted to do it, I would give it to them. But for me and my time, again, I want to be efficient because I started seeing on Fridays, and Fridays people are really inefficient because they're on weekend mode. Okay, most people are on weekend mode on Fridays. You just have to be honest with yourself and honest with your business and honest with your department. So I stopped meeting with clients on Fridays. Okay, I even got strict. If I had, even on Monday through Thursday, this is how strict I was with my time. If I had a client that was canceled on me, if I had a client that I drove to their office and they weren't there, or I drove to the office and they forgot about me and they rescheduled, guess what I did? Okay, I would still meet with them, but they drove to my office. It's like, hey, that's fine. I'll still meet with you. I forgive you, but you need to come here. I'm not going to go to your office. You know what I mean? Because that's respecting your time. People naturally will waste your time. Not saying they're doing it on purpose, but people naturally will waste your time. If they think your time isn't important to you, people will waste it. And if you're in sales, I'm telling you the truth because you've dealt with it, okay? Now on Fridays, this is when on Fridays, I started treating Fridays as a learning day. Okay, as a personal development day, a day where you're reviewing things, you're reading books, maybe you do a seminar, you're kind of reflecting on what's going on, you're kind of stepping away from everything you're doing Monday through Thursday and doing a self-reflection. It's not so much a catch-up day. A lot of people will, we do catch-up day on Friday. Well, catch-up day isn't a learning day. You're still just working, The reason why you have a catch-up day on Friday, listen to this. The reason why you have a catch-up day on Friday is because you're an employee. You have an employee mind. Or your boss thinks like an employee. Why? Because you're not in control of your schedule. That's why you have a catch-up day on Friday. Okay? You have a catch-up day on Friday because what? You're multitasking. You have an open door policy. People can interrupt you anytime. You just drop and go. You don't get nothing done Monday through Thursday. Now you have a catch-up day. Okay? I'm going through the bullshit with you. Okay? You can't fool me because you're not in control. You're not focused. You're not doing, 3 to 5 things a day. You're trying to do 20 things. Okay? That's why you have a catch-up day. There are no catch-up days. Friday is not a catch-up day. Friday, it's a learning day. It's a personal development day. It's a reflection day. That's what Friday should be. And a lot of times in my businesses, I worked for, a lot of times Fridays would even be a half a day. Maybe we would work till like 1 p.m., 2 p.m. and that's it. Why are businesses wasting time? Okay, if you're not in the mood to work and you're just sitting by your computer, just pretending you're working for 3 hours, well, again, you're just collecting a paycheck. Come on now. But anyway, I kind of press this pretty hard. You kind of get what I'm saying. We can go on and on with this and give many examples and millions of examples. But the biggest thing is, is start reading. If you don't have a library, you can't see it. So the camera over here, I have like an ugly bookshelf over here, but I have all my books over here. I got 2 mini bookshelves down here. I got books. I got CDs and everything underneath the desk, one of the desks over here. So I just, and a lot of people that come in here like, why don't you sell all these books back? Why don't you sell them back to Amazon? It's like, why? These are my personal development books. I read them throughout. Sometimes I've read many of my books many times because they have great information in the book. You know what I mean? But let me give you a couple more other things before we go here. Just wanted to share with you. For one, start a personal library. Get books, buy books, read books that you're interested in. Okay, that's going to help your business. Okay, most of these books have a lot of information in there. Again, when you look at, kind of stepping over here, but again, when you look at planner pads and stuff like this, I have this one. This is a success diary. This one I do love. I try to find this again, but the company went out of business. I don't know why. It's called the Success Diary. This is like probably the best planner pad I found on the market. I don't know why they went out of business. Maybe they couldn't compete, but it really focused on monthly, but really focused on a simple daily routine where it focused on 5 things. Now, always had a personal quote, my affirmation of the day, so forth and so forth. This is the best one I found. You can find used ones, but for some reason the company are not in production anymore. But this is the best one I found. Hopefully they change their mind and start making this bad boy again. But this is the best one I found. Another one I use is called the Planner Pads. You go to plannerpads.com. This is a big one. So this one kind of focuses for the week, but it basically has shut this down. It basically has a 3-tier system. So you write everything up here you want to do, maybe not for the week, but almost like a to-do list. Then you funnel it down here Monday through Friday. Then you funnel it down here again. This one works like a funnel. Times of the day you're going to do it. This one I do like. The only thing is when you get up here, this is the whole week. If you have a lot of stuff up here, what happens is for me, it starts to get overwhelming. You know what I mean? When you see a lot of stuff, your mind gets overwhelmed. Okay. That's why when I said over here, focus on 3 to 5 things. That's why over here, it only focuses on 3 to 5 things. You write down 3 to 5 things you need to get done that day. And that's what your mind focuses on. Your mind don't see 50 things. That's what I mean by overwhelming. This is another one by Brandon Burchard. I ordered it some time ago. I haven't used it yet. This one's pretty good too. It focuses, like these 2 pages are just one day. So it has like your mindset affirmations, an evening journal to kind of do a self-reflection for the day. It does focus on your 3 top goals you gotta get done. So it focuses on the success of focusing on 3 to 5 things a day. So this one I really like too. It does a self-reflection. Then anyway, with planning and going through your day, it's very important to pre-plan your day. Write down a few things that you need to get done either at the end of your day or when you start your day. A lot of times when I had a job, when I started my day, I would go in the first 30 minutes of my day. Again, I would always argue with my boss. But anyway, my first 30 minutes of the day would be me sitting down, planning out the day, getting focused, getting mental focused. Might have a little personal development routine in there. Might read a book for 10 minutes to get my mind focused and ready for the day, more positivity, stuff like that. This is what employees don't understand. When you start doing stuff, people start thinking like, oh, do that stuff at home. Do that stuff on your own time. You don't do that stuff at work. Well, that's why their business isn't successful. No matter if you work for a huge corporation, most of the time there's just too many employees, too many employee mindsets in there. That's why it starts to dwindle. Okay, and that's why you have competitors come out and kind of take the number 1 spot because they start understanding this philosophy. But other than that, my friends, that's it. Hopefully you got something out of it. This was really a handful of information we talked about here, a lot of information we talked about here. So hopefully this helped out. If you have any questions, put the questions below and I'll answer them as best as I can, help you out as much as I can. Other than that, I'll see you in the next episode of SEO BS.